News 8 at 11 with Phil Sanchez.
Welcome back on this Thursday night. The U.S. Supreme Court has struck down affirmative action in another landmark decision. That means colleges and universities can no longer take race into consideration as a specific basis in admissions. For tonight's Unfiltered, we have two members of All Indiana's Best Political team here to talk about this decision, Kip Tu and Allie Bartlett. Good to see you both. Thank you for coming in studio. Your reaction initially when you heard this, we'll start with you, Allie.
Yeah, my initial reaction was it's about time. I think that this decision was a long time coming, and it was obviously the right one, made on the legal basis of the Equal Protection Clause under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution.
Kip.
I obviously disagree vehemently. Look, we have 40 years of precedent in this case. It's now two cases in a row where the Supreme Court has decided to become an extra legislative branch rather than a judicial branch, which is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to recognize precedent. Instead, they're throwing it out. I don't think anybody would argue with the fact that we are not an equal society yet. And the basis of affirmative action was to try to get folks to be able to catch up, to be able to have the equal opportunity. What this does is basically says, if you're rich and well-connected and white in this country, you're going to get better advantages still. We have not reached equality in this country. I see Allie shaking her head. Do you think you have equality as a woman?
Absolutely, and I think that, and here's my preference, is that I would be determined on the basis of my merit as an applicant to a university versus on my female self. I want to be admitted to a university on the basis of my merit and my intellect, and this decision says that that is how applicants will be selected for admission to a university.
The question is what's the merit? It says that... Right. The question is what's the merit?
Well, how do you think it's going to affect college, though?
I think we're going to see fewer people of color at universities because it's going to be tougher for universities to make that happen. They're going to have to change all their rules.
So basically you're saying that minorities aren't as smart or qualified as white applicants? Because that's what you just said. You said that we're not going to see as many minorities be accepted to college because they can't be accepted on the basis of the color of their skin. No. They have to be judged on the merits of their application, and you're then saying that their merits of their application are not as good as white students. If we will see less, that's what you just said.
No.
You said that we won't see as many black students.
You won't let me even get a word in edgewise, so maybe let me try to speak for myself instead of you speaking for me. The fact of the matter is that we still have an unequal society, and many of the ways admissions looks at things are based on historic precedents that we need to take into consideration.
Like what?
And we definitely know that legacies will still be admitted, and legacies don't have to have the same type of admission standards that others do. We know other.
And Tim Scott came out today and said that needs to go away as well. And I think a lot of people are on the same page when it comes to the legacy issue. Correct?
Absolutely, and that definitely is something that can be taken up as well. But this was a question of constitutionality, and when we're looking at this from a legal perspective, under the 14th Amendment, that says that these policies have to be applied broadly.
I think you're ignoring our K through 12 education system in this country as it currently exists. It is not giving an equal chance for everybody to get to college, because some schools, largely suburban with lots more money, put out students who are more prepared for college.
Well, that's why we've developed policies like in the state of Indiana where you have school choice.
Yeah, they don't work.
And students can attend whatever school they want to in the state of Indiana. So that kind of moves that argument.
We've seen the statistics where there hasn't been any change.
I have a minute left, and you're both the lawyers here. I'm just a news guy. Do you see this playing out like Roe v. Wade, where it comes to the states? Kip, 30 seconds.
No, I don't think it's the same situation, because this court decision in the Dobbs decision looked at it differently. Okay. I just put it that way rather than get into the details. And so they said, let's leave it up to the states. In this instance, it's
across the board,
across the country. No university, public university, will be allowed to use race as a qualifier. So I think every public institution in the country of higher ed now has to rewrite everything, and it's going to be a difficult journey for all of them.
going forward? Take us home next 6 months. What do we see next, maybe a year, Allie?
Yeah, I think maybe we will see some states or legislative bodies make efforts to try and combat what happened today. But at the end of the day, I'm excited to see that we've decided, the Supreme Court has decided, that, you know what, minority students can get into college on the merits of their application, and that we should be treating everyone equally by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. That's exactly what they said.
Good conversation tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad we had you both in studio. Thank you. Thank you. Ashley, on over to you.